In the last 2 weeks, I've felt the most productive, focused, and energized that I've felt in a long time. And it all came from these 4 habits that I started to implement. And before I tell you what they are, let me give you some context. I was recently over in Bali and Lombok for 2 months with my partner Alana. And because I work fully remotely and so does she, we were both working online, I had about an hour of work each day that I needed to do, that I had to lock in for. But outside of that 1 hour, I could go surfing, and unfortunately it meant that I could also scroll social media and use my phone. I noticed that this was really impacting my focus, my enjoyment whilst on the trip. And although it gives you that instant gratification, it doesn't actually leave you fulfilled once you stop scrolling. And at one point, I looked back at my screen time and I think it was like 6 or 7 hours, which is pretty ridiculous. And although some of that was using Google Maps or listening to podcasts, a lot of it was entertainment, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And the problem with all that is it spikes your dopamine so quickly and so much and gives you that instant gratification, but it leaves you kind of empty afterwards. So I knew something had to change when we got back to New Zealand. So ever since I've been back, I've implemented these 4 habits. And let me tell you, it has helped so much with my workflow, my focus. I actually wake up feeling ready to get out of bed and get into the day. Habit number 1 is not getting on your phone as soon as you wake up and actually waiting till you've done something hard before even thinking about going on your phone to reward yourself with social media or any form of entertainment on your phone. And what this does is, because we're wired to firstly hunt or gather or create, and then we get the reward from that, it gives you that delayed gratification. So what I've been doing personally is making sure that I do at least an hour of focused work or deep work on my laptop before even looking at my phone. And the problem is, if you look at your notifications once, you're going to be clicking onto something and then you find yourself caught in this loop, and before you even know it, you're on social media. And because the algorithm is so good at capturing your attention, you're going to find yourself scrolling. And sometimes I'll literally have a free moment and I'll catch myself on my phone or picking up my phone to then scroll. And it's about taking a step back from those moments and letting yourself sit in silence, be still, which brings me to my second habit, which is being bored. Instead of always drowning yourself in entertainment, if you're on the way to the gym in the car, you listen to music. If you're at the gym, you listen to music. In between your sets and your rest periods, you're on your phone scrolling, also listening to music. When you get home, you cook dinner and you're listening to music, and then you're also scrolling whilst you're cooking, and then when you're eating your food, you're also scrolling. The dopamine that you get from just eating the food, but then you stack on your phone for that instant dopamine that I was talking about earlier, and that is just bound to spike your dopamine really high, which then leads to a crash. The problem is as well is that, say if your goal is fat loss, which is also what I specialize in, if you're eating whilst being on your phone or watching the TV, your brain doesn't register as much of the food that you eat, so you then are more likely to overeat. And studies have actually shown this. I believe you're more likely to overeat by 50% if you're watching screens, TV, or your phone. And also think about the opportunity cost. While you're watching your screen while you're eating, you could have been connecting with your friends or family and having some quality time. So whenever I'm at breakfast, lunch, or dinner with my partner or family, I try and put my phone aside, make sure I'm fully focused and present in the moment. And I know this is common with a lot of people because I used to do this myself. I wasn't able to start a set until the beat dropped, and that means that you're relying on that dopamine, the stimulation of the music, to actually work out, which is a sad reality. Of course, music is good for you, but we want to have it in moderation, and we want to be able to actually get enjoyment from the activity that we're doing, not needing some extra supplement or music to get us hyped and to get us motivated. Habit 3 is having a tidy room and a tidy space around you, like your office. And research actually shows that if you have a tidy office space, you're more creative, you're more focused, and your brain just feels less cluttered. I believe it was Jordan Peterson that said, first thing you should do every morning is clean your room, make your bed.
What are the processes? Well, I think what I've recommended to people is clean up your room. That's a good start. Organize your local landscape.
And that little bit of delayed gratification from doing those tasks sets you up nicely. It gets you into that momentum, the rhythm of getting up and doing something Not hard, but something that you could easily put off. And I know this for myself. One of the best feelings is coming home from work or out in town to a clean home and a clean room. And habit number 4 is scheduling things that you need to do for the month, the week, and the day. I personally use Google Calendar, and getting really specific, even on a daily basis, is super important because it means that you're holding yourself accountable. When you see it in your calendar, you're more likely to follow that schedule. And I always like to start with the harder tasks first. That way it sets you up. You feel like you've actually achieved something early, and then as the day progresses, your tasks start to feel slightly easier. It also means that if you've got 1,000 things to do in your head, if you write them down, it takes that instant stress away of that overwhelm factor. And then you can start to take one step at a time to ticking off those things to do. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you can see more videos like this. And join me on my journey to becoming a better self. See you on the next one.